Recording in progress.
It's over to call to order and start with pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance. To the republic for which it stands, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's so good to see you. I just want to say thanks to everybody for showing up. I know everybody's busy now that the summer vacations are full in swing. So thank you so much for everybody being here. Everything works with all of you. So thank you. Before we get started today, we do have a new guest. So actually, if you could do the intro. So
I'd like to welcome Alyssa to the first FDPC meeting. She is our summer intern in the planning and zoning department, working on an archive project of some of our maps and drawings. So she had an interest in this.
we have come to the right place. So that's so glad you. Welcome. All right, so we're just going to go down the list on the agenda. Everybody have a copy or sure. First of all, just to go through the past and upcoming events, just to recap on a couple of things. The tour of the Allegheny Observatory, from my opinion, it was absolutely stunningly fantastic. I just thought it was awesome. We got to look through the telescope, got to see the little elevator thing go up and down that moves the whole thing. I just thought it was beyond all understanding. It was just fantastic. Anybody else want to mention what they thought?
Yeah, it was just awesome. Once in a lifetime.
Yeah, you are touching history. I mean,
Yes.
there's no question you there.
Whole floor.
Yeah, the whole thing was an elevator.
Yeah, the technology of 100 years ago.
Yeah.
That's the engineering. That whole process of like having someone come for a lecture, talk about a specific site, and then go secondarily as a site visit, I think would be a really great thing to continue. Whether that's, with the Old Economy Village or even the Heinz History Center. I'd like to continue to do that in the future. I love those little field trips.
Yeah, it was just absolutely outstanding. So it was very well organized, very well executed. The tour guide knew her stuff inside out. And learned a ton. We talked about it the whole ride home. It's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
There was a really good large gravitation body.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I played the part of that. So it was all good. So thank you again for and were you the point on coordinating that, Andy?
Yeah.
It was great. It was absolutely. Thank you. Well done. All right, and then the vintage Apple Computer Lab. Unfortunately, this was right up my alley, but I could not make it that day. And I was extremely jealous from the pictures. I could feel the innovation of the day from seeing the setup. So just how did that go?
It was fun. It's busy as it was the last time we did it a few years ago, but still a great experience for those kids who did register. They were very good. And thank you again to Scott Barrett for coming and setting those up. We had 8 Apple computers and we lined them up. So if you would find in an old school 1992, he's very time specific. So, all of the models, all of the games are set to be 1992. So it was pretty cool.
And that kind of hands-on stuff is just fantastic.
And I realized my daughter sat down and wanted to play a game. Oh, and so her trying to understand how she was like, well, it was.
That's awesome. That's can't keep. I experienced.
The kids really enjoyed trying.
Yes, they did.
It's great. So thanks for doing that. Again, I would be there an hour early if I would.
Yeah.
Next time. Oh, I'm there next time. Great. Thanks. All right, then tomorrow we do have Chris Bream on Pittsburgh economy. I do have a lot of people who did say they're going to be here, but they're not signing up. They said they're just not going to sign up given the rain situation. I says tomorrow's, I think, will be pretty decent as far as everything. But we're all set for him to come out. I think we only have a few people signed up right now.
Yeah.
But I'm confident we can meet you something. And it's funny, just serendipitously, he announced his new book on Twitter today, Beyond Steel. So Pittsburgh and the economics of steel. So the timing is absolutely perfect with the deal with US Steel. So anybody has US Steel questions, the guy's one of the experts, obviously, has written the book as far as the shoot screen. So he'll be here tomorrow. I'll be here early to get things set up, but I think we'll do the usual setup where we'll have have it here, just like we've been doing in the last few days. So I'll get here early, so that'll get set up. And then the park studies tomorrow as well. And I'm sure Abby, if you want to mention that.
Yeah, so this is a public meeting for our ongoing park study. I was hoping to have it in the pavilion down in Devlin here, but with the humidity and the wet conditions, it's supposed to thunderstorm again tomorrow during that time. We're gonna have it in the Powers Room in Town Hall. So it's open to everyone. It begins at 6 o'clock and it's an open house setup. So you come in, you sort of wander around, talk to members of the steering committee, to our passionate consultants about the program, and then you can come in. So that'll be from 6 to 7:30. So if you want to stop by there before you head on up to the Heritage Center at 7.
Perfect. By the way, we do mention how as newcomers in here, the Parks and Recreation Division is like the social network of the community. It literally connects people, whether it be through recreation or through events like this, or community days, or Winterfest. It really is. That's the way you connect with a bunch of different people. It's the Parks and Recreation. It really helps facilitate this. You are the social network for these. It's like, yeah, they kind of are. That's how you get to know them. Like 90% of the people we've gotten to know is through the Parks and Recreation events or activities. So look forward to being able to do that. And by the way, the survey was really easy to do. So whoever set that up, my compliments on how easy it was. Nicely done. All right, then on July 17th, we do have Wanda Haney coming in. So Wanda owns the horse stables right across the street. And so she's gonna come in and give a talk. And she's also bringing a student with her, and I know this because the student is my daughter. And Wanda likes that because everything she does there, she insists on the student doing it. So this is going to be a good learning by example, which is how she does it. So that's going to be July 17th. She will be giving a wide-ranging discussion. Again, this isn't what she does for a living. She doesn't give discussions and presentations for a living. She has horseback riding for a living. And she has several different programs. One of them. Works for her.
Oh, really?
Oh, does it?
Yeah, so her family has owned the land around here, and I think it might even be the land we're on right now, since like over 100 years ago. Like, they've been here for a long time, so she has lots of stories. So come armed with a bunch of stories for July. Any other questions about past or upcoming events? These are all good. All right, as far as anybody want to add anything else onto the agenda? All right, then as far as the previous meeting or minutes from the previous meeting, does anybody have any questions on them? I did read them. I'm okay with them. I think they adequately represent what we talked about. Nothing major coming out of them last time, more of what's coming up and the activities. So do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. And do I have a second? Okay, Kevin, thank you so much. All right. As far as the History Makers Gala, so we do have a subcommittee meeting immediately after this one. And again, this subcommittee continues to meet. We find it very convenient to meet right after this one. Folks want to show up to that, that's fine. So we go through the details and then we present out to this group. But we do have, just to refresh everybody's memory, it is going to be November 1st at the Camelot in Wexford. And the Camelot is off of McKnight, right in back of the Chiefs. I'm sorry, the 19th Streets. And we will go through as far as getting sponsor letter, basket raffle, solicitation, table decor and theme. We're discussing at the last subcommittee meeting, so we're getting all of those details figured out. Any questions on those right now? Because we go into detail in the subcommittee meeting, but I always want to make sure this group is totally up to date on. You got it. So if you guys want to state them out, you're more than welcome. So again, that's always right after this. All right. Moving on then, as far as reports and updates from the committee, from a marketing and communication standpoint, from a social media standpoint, not sure, Abby, if there's anything you want to mention from a social media standpoint.
For today. That we had Facebook for the last 28 days. The most popular with the most views, I should say. So Facebook breaks it down into views, reach, and then interactions. What the difference is between the three, I have no idea, and I even tried to read the definitions, but the one that had the most views with 5,123 views was about the post of the North Hills Athletic Club. I asked if it was Club Julian, and no, I was corrected, it was a different location, so people interacted with that. The second one was about Council Park over at the corner of West Ingmar and Ingmar Road. That had 4,638 views and 49 interactions, so that was the one that had many interactions. And then top three, the third one was about McKnight bowling lanes, which is now Hobby Lobby, McKnight Road. It had 3,902 views and 45 interactions, so.
It's amazing that you get thousands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Used to fall, they had it over the.
Yeah, that would.
So I have a lot of nights.
My caption was, I wish I still had my personalized bowling pin. Birthday break. I had two birthday.
And they gave out personalized.
Yeah.
I agree, it's very good. Love it. That'd be great.
We think about the way things change in those weird running up. There are a lot of places. You had McKnight's Morgan style had a dance every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, kids under 21.
Central around.
Yeah, the sports style was in your passion furniture and was next to the light cinemas.
I'm good, I bet I'm 21 and need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my point is that, you know, back when we were growing up, the world didn't stop with them. It kept right, hospitals to get it.
Some other statistics to highlight, we had 44,220 overall views to our page in the last 8 days and 14 new followers.
Nice. Nicely done. Nicely done. Thank you. All right, moving on then, from a budget standpoint, I'm not sure if there's anything new from a budget standpoint. As far as programming, now as far as some just confirmed speakers, we are starting to get some for next year. So we've got 3 confirmed so far for next year. First of all, I want to give a thanks to Dan Point, who set us up with Steve Cicero, AKA the History Hobo. Fantastic discussion. So he really, I was very impressed with him.
Good.
And so we've got him set up for March. And again, the topic is going to be the history of Route 19. He had many great choices, so that's the one that we chose. We can change it as we get closer, but I think that's very in alignment with the anniversary for next year. Right? And then in April, we have Brady Kreitzer. So he's a historian. He's one of the guys that I follow the most on YouTube and the History Channel. He has literally written a dozen books on French and Indian War, Whiskey Rebellion, all Western Pennsylvania stuff. So whenever there's something on major cable television or social media, he's one of the guys that they interview. So he is as far as Native American tribes, the Hessians, even Revolutionary War, with a major focus on Western Pennsylvania. He does teach at Robert Morris University. So that's an exciting one that we have coming up then. And then in August, we will have then Scott Barrett coming back to us on the Ross Park Mall's 40th birthday. That is great that you said that. Are you, Abby? I'm not sure if you're the point person setting that up.
Yeah, so Scott came a couple years ago, and Scott was Betty's nephew. He is the grandson of Joe Bullock. And so Scott is sort of the official expert on Ross Park Mall. Like even the mall managers call him whenever they find a tidbit and let him know about things. So he came and did a presentation on Ross Park Mall a few years ago, and it was very popular. And next year, 1986, was when the mall opened in August. So he'll be coming back in August to celebrate. So
Okay, I love having that because in moving here, Ross Park Mall is absolutely amazing. Because other places I live, obviously, the mall concept is not the strongest. And then you go there, and it's like, you gotta be, this is crazy good.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy good. So I'm curious to understand the history of it and see
Yes.
why it's so crazy.
Yeah.
How did it get to this point? I look forward to hearing, Susan. I look forward to hearing. I look forward to hearing it. So as you can see, we're trying to do is just like this, get a mix of the hyper local stuff as well as more general. So if anybody has any ideas, like for the bowling or anything else, those are great ideas. Yes.
I was thinking about that. I haven't had any about this. I used to work with Mike Tourism, and for those who live around here, Mike had been representing us in Harrisburg for years. And he's one of the legal counsels at People's Scouts. Not, and I brought up the idea, not ask him if he might be interested in giving a talk, but due to his efforts, he was able to secure a lot of money for the upgrade right at the flats, and flats to modernize that, expanding the road, turning lane, and things like that. And he would be interested, he said to be interested, and I let Abby know about that also. That might be one you may want to talk about, talk to him about that, if you want to talk about that. Other things also, while he was representative from Harrisburg, I know that we have a history of 19 coming on. That specifically to me, I know that was something that was kind of near and near getting that project. Yeah, Jim.
Yeah, the other thing is too, his boss, like keeper, is the press and people scares. If I get split. So this area of sports that gets. Have some people's jumping. Presentation. They're also the main sponsor for the game.
That's a great idea. And that does go into another brainstorm, which was some of the past gala winners that we've had. Would any of those folks be willing to come and speak? Because let me tell you, those speeches they give are top notch. I mean, they are great. I will come back to hear the same exact speech again for some of them. So it's something to think about to brainstorm for next year. Are there any of the gala winners that we would like to approach and say would they be willing to give a talk next year?
So we could probably incorporate that.
Yeah. And writing a letter to invite the people who. Or the game. Terry. People like Jason Wolf. Some of the people that Ross Point. Some of those speeches and some of the stories from people that's there. There's a couple that stand out. Jason Wolf stands out because he's raised in the Milton Hershey School. Went on to be a billionaire.
And you would say for next year, they're supposed to in 2026, Hollywood's supposed to release the Milton Hershey Hollywood story. Filming it right now, so it could be good for next year, given that he sits on the Hershey board. And he was very passionate about it when he was his work. So that would be, the timing could be fantastic. Now, I'm not sure if he'd be interested, but it'd be a great share. You see, Kevin, do you have a point?
No, I was saying, we just got a paragraph. Letter for them. If.
Yeah, they were really, I was very impressed. Could have almost every one of them speak if they want. But we should probably choose, 1 to 3 to start, see how it goes. And get them scheduled for next year so they can get it on. Joe, we can talk about that. All right, any other questions about that for next year? So again, we're just getting started. We want everybody to know, if you have a great idea, let me know. Feel free, let me know, we're happy to. More than happy. Right, as far as volunteers, Suzanne, any updates you want to give on the volunteer?
Just kind of. The good happenings today. And we had, I don't know whether you were gonna talk about the guidance.
Oh, we'll do that next.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah. Well, the red hat ladies came.
Yes.
Just fix a little bit of things where I think they like the desk more than anything. But I was most excited about guidance paying the Civil War.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, do you want to talk about that, right? Talk about it right now if you want, because I cannot make it, I'd love to hear how that.
Yeah, so a few months ago, private archivist reached out to me, project, doing the family history of the Guyton family. These Guytons lived in Toledo, Ohio. She had seen somewhere on the internet that we had the Civil War letters and the sword from Robert Guyton of McCandless. And she reached out to me wanting more information, some photographs and any sort of, anything we could provide. And so I've been in communication with her. She had been in communication with the family. And so Robert Guyton's great grandson, also named Robert, and his mother, Priscilla, came from Toledo last Friday and looked at the Civil War letters. Suzanne and the other volunteers made a wonderful display of the items that were donated to us from another Guyton descendant. Were donated a few years ago, of those items. And they were very appreciative of our conservation and efforts to transcribe the letters. That's been an ongoing project that Caitlin's is helping with on Saturdays. And it was just nice to see what information they had, because obviously they've been doing their own research on their own branch of the family and who goes where. And we also brought out a lot of maps. They wanted to know where the family part. She wanted to know if it was in the lake or part of the lake or not a lake. Yeah, all in the lake. She kind of thought was humorous. So we also directed them to the Abraham Guyton gravestone, which is on Lakeshore Drive, well, off of Royal Walk, Lakeshore Drive, but it was raining already, so I don't know.
Well, they now have a chain across that road and a $350 fine.
Oh, nice. So,
If they didn't before, I'd have been brave. I think they might be jumping or paying.
but it was a wonderful experience. Melissa came up and met with them as well. It was great.
What a fantastic example of the power of this place. Like, it's just great. It's again, something about being the social network, like just bringing people together. Like, it's incredible. And especially a lot of people from Toledo. A lot of them said people from Toledo. So my. Great. And the Red Hat Society, you want to talk about that?
Yeah. They trying to, with several showed them around. So I didn't do all of that. I explained to them about the Civil War cases, and we explained how we changed the cases every time we have a different speaker or something like that on a regular basis. They were excited about that. Oh, we'll back and sure, the different things that we put out, telling them about a lot of things that we have. So I love those tours are usually great.
That's awesome.
What is the Red Hat Society?
What's the name of it?
Yeah, you, okay, so even.
It's really like somebody who station, they work the golf where the green jacket, it's just a significant thing that do Red Hats. And
It's their interest.
it's just to designate their.
It's like a social group.
Yeah. And I noticed that some of the ladies were, and there's something with the purple too, I can't remember that, I'm afraid of that. But, anyway, it's just like having blazing on or something.
Yeah, usually, I'm just used to it, a really good group of people, usually very curious, very willing with people. Excellent that you have, yeah, it's hitting on all cylinders, Suzanne, let me tell you, especially being able to come here and get your own personalized tour.
Yeah.
It's just great. Right. Hey, okay, I'm gonna have Abby on the McCandless 175. So, how's that going?
Yeah, so. We have here to be. Again, 75 committee. Applications were available until last week, I think the 15th. And now they'll be sent to town council for approval for this committee, because it'll have to be, sort of formalized as a temporary committee of the town to celebrate the candles. So,
Did you get a response?
we did, yeah, and if you are still interested, the application.
You want to give an update on the BRIC program? And we
Yeah.
talked last time a little bit about.
So. That will get back. And unfortunately, I haven't had time to set up the BRIC program yet, but it is.
Are you doing that specifically next year?
I'd like to have them on sale by Kate. That's my.
Oh.
So have the forms ready for community day. I haven't set a price yet. And then, well, first, he was selling them, yeah, all year long. Moving right along to t-shirts, Kevin designed this complete t-shirt a couple years ago, and so I placed the order just this week for volunteer t-shirts. I got a range of sizes, so whenever they come in, you can just choose your size, so,
That looks great.
yeah.
That looks. And I think next to you as well, the grant and the library backpack.
Yeah, I think we talked about this again last meeting. The Heart Grant is a state grant for conservation of Pennsylvania historic documents or any sort of documents. So I was thinking of projects that we could use to conserve some of the items that we have here in the library. So thinking about that, that's due at the end of August, so I have no firm plans as of yet. The library backpack is almost finished. I have 2 backpacks that I made sort of modeled after the ones I have at Northland from North Park. They have some birding information, like the little pocket guides of, here's some birds that you might see, here's some nature you might see on the trail, different plants, identifiers, binoculars. I put the 2001 history book in there. I put the driving scavenger hunt that I can never remember the name of, that Kevin and Diane made. Kevin, what was that?
Hidden heritage.
Yes, I put copies of those in the backpack, coloring book. So other McCandless information to sort of familiarize people with our programs, the Heritage Center, and then the park system as well. So those are almost ready. I have to order one recording book. And then the right one. And then I'll be taking those to Northland and people can check them.
Thanks.
And do
I look forward to that. That's cool.
yeah.
Very good. Thanks. Thanks. Anything else that folks want to talk about? Well, that's what we've had on the agenda. Hey, I just want to say again, thanks. I really appreciate it. Without all of you, none of this works. And I think we're just having to bang up here. So thank you so much for making a ton of progress. And if people do want to stay for the subcommittee meeting, they're more than welcome to, but absolutely do not have to take a break.
I wanted to just add. I think. CDC study of the intersections at Route 19. Way back. Maybe 60s, 65, something like that.
What is it?
Pardon?
I'm sorry. I got a traffic study.
The study to the intersection
we had intersections. That. One of them got fixed. We. Pine Creek Road was the last. We had to get the state in the whole works involved. We had a lot of traffic accidents off Route 19 before we had the Jersey barrier installed. So after a citizens committee and plus, we managed to get them for the state. And Rick Sesser was a big pusher for that. He was actually one of our, we had 3 representatives at the time. He was one of, so we were able to lean on him.
Will that be for our library?
Pardon?
Will that be for the library? Or that,
Oh,
is it?
For our life.
simultaneously, maybe. The library up on the hill?
No.
No.
Is it for here?
Yes.
If I'm gonna bring it over one stage, I wanna make sure it stays.
Well, at first,
I brought a whole Fireman's Relief Association book I given to Joe Boyd, where all our minutes, I guess the 20s and 30s were in there, because they were all handwritten. I don't put a whole case of beer to that stuff. Pardon? Downstairs. Is it down there? Okay.
That's something that Bill might be able to think about.
But the other thing about we through the intersection of my, what is that, you've got 19 fixed. The way it is. That took a long campaign. Because the right of way is not that big. And it's going to do so much. I think I saw 3 or 4 plans. I even think some of the planners and retire when they go. But parking was, of course, but we never saw any action. One but taken done, and also a good portion of the we fixed the east side, we got Pine Creek intersection. We got out of a mess. So we did have help.
I remember him telling me just a little bit over it. That he had actually walked along 19 with the property owners, you know, with business owners and stuff. Concerns were how we could make it better and this. He was really right on it, literally out in the field on it, walking the road, just thought let's be public. So
I was walking out there one day, and Bill Barrow grabbed me and he says, these sidewalks, you could have come out and shoveled sidewalk.
There's some
No.
gratitude for it. What are you gonna do for him?
People do sidewalks, and people said, but he's gonna use it. Oh, yeah, great. I've never seen a bad yet being used.
All right, anything else anybody wants to bring up? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move it, Richard.
Dan, do I have a second? Thank you so much. Or again, thank you, folks.
Hey,
You're doing great. And then again, if people want to stay around for the subcommittee or the gala, you're more than welcome to.